The Deported, Open Light. I mean, don't worry about that.
Great. If you had to encapsulate the title track, the intro track, in a sentence, how would you?
In a sentence, The Deported. I would encapsulate it in a sentence. Don't forget me, please. Is The Deported, I would say. I mean, I wrote The Deported. The Deported is actually from the perspective of our family house. The family house is the one. The family house is the one talking to us. Because the reason I wrote The Deported is because I saw a video my cousin sent me that our neighbours who couldn't leave in the neighbourhood, they went in. They were like, "You got to see what the house looks like," and it was like ransacked, gone. There's like you can see like in the right house where like they've attempted to steal the fridge for some reason, like, and there's like half pulled it out and realised, oh, it doesn't fit, left it. Like all the shit, the walls are down. You can see all my grandma's clothes are like with people looking for gold or whatever. There's like all the, it's just mad. It's a madness. I remember it was a minute video. I watched it for an hour, just staring at it. It's like sick. I remember like, yo, I thought my cousin. I was like, yo, come here. Do you remember when we did that one thing over there? And you're looking at the destroyed version of it, but you're like, yeah, I remember when. Do you remember when I fell and you blame me, you smacked me in the head? I'm like, I remember that shit. And you're looking at this, but you're looking at this. It was the weirdest juxtaposition of all of it. And I thought about it, I was like, I wonder what the house is feeling. Because that house was built by my great-granddad, maybe like 60, 70 years ago. And like generations have lived there. Like, the generations that we know. I think that's why, because it's not distant. Like our history in the house isn't that old. But it's all ours, all of it. There's like footprints in the concrete from when like my older cousin was a kid. They're like, oh yeah, that. Or like there used to be this thing we used to do where we used to, when you'd lose your tooth, you'd throw it on the roof. So and we used to go climb on the roof, like to just playing around, jumping, dangerous as shit, like mad stuff. But the teeth were all still there. Like, oh my god, that's Thingy's tooth. You know what I mean? Like that's whose teeth are there? Who knows? But all of that was there, and I was just thinking, like, I wonder what the house is feeling. Because everyone's gone. Everyone just left it. Like all the sound, footsteps, noises, all gone. Great grandma's bed, even after she passed away, was still stayed in the same place. No one really sat on it really. That was there. It's gone now. Done. Grandma's room's gone. My auntie's house gone. And I was just imagining how confused the house must be. It's been like, what happened? I mean, 70 years to 2 months is like, what even is 2 months? Is a blink. The house blinked and suddenly everyone was gone. Vanished. And he's like, who are these people? Who's in me? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? So yeah, The Deported was from that. And it was just kind of thinking like, once the house realises what's happening, I think the only thing it would want is to not be forgotten. Just like Mother hold me. Mother being all of us. You're the only thing I have. Mother hold me. Keep me in your memories at least. That's kind of all that's left really.
Yeah.
That's The Deported.
And I guess it's also like a symbol of home in general to you guys as well.
Yeah.
Like, keep that idea.
Always. But yeah, The Deported.
Alright. Open Light.
Open Light. That's the first song in all of this really. That started all of it. But Open Light was, the picture of it was me sitting in front of my house burning down. So that's what caught fire instantly. Caught fire instantly. Now our home is just sirens and ash. Originally that lyric was, fate caught wind of how pretty you were. Because the feeling was almost just like, whatever this is, it's like we can't change it. I don't know what it is. This unstoppable, this wheel that's going along, and that's kind of a big theme of it, where it's like, while the wheel turns, it's the inevitability of it all, and just kind of trying to find any sort of reason to keep on pushing, because just as much as the wheel turned and it was our time to go, maybe it'll turn again, it'll be our time to come back, and that's the kind of hope in it. The open light itself is I kind of just imagine me staring at the burning house and looking for a last bit of warmth, and the last bit of warmth in the house is it burning down, and that's the open light. The open light is it a flame. Hold me as you leave, which is kind of me looking for any, and that's it. It's kind of like mad. It's kind of you sat there like this is the last bit I can get from you. This is the warmest you're going to be physically ever again. So kind of just taking that in and really thinking about what's to come and hopefully coming back. But that's Avalon was a song about a good friend of mine who had gone through this relationship with this guy who was very abusive. She was kind of telling me all about it. I was on a trip with her for a while. We had a lot of time on our hands. It was like a backpacking trip. 8 hours on buses and stuff. I kind of just got a full debrief. And she's someone that I don't really see very often. I see her like once a year or like twice a year. And we have this relationship where we kind of always get back and go, so what's been going on? Da-da-da-da. Anyways, how have you been? Haha, plug. But she's talking about this relationship, and her middle name was Avalon. And I remembered the old myth of Avalon, which is this island, an old Celtic myth. And Avalon was an island where King Arthur was said to have gone to recover after a great battle. And it was like this mythical island where he'll recover for however long it takes to recover his wounds, and he'll come back and he'll be like it's like a messiah type figure. He'll come and save the people. I remember hearing about her relationship with this guy and what she'd gone through, and kind of just thought about, because in my perspective I'm like, oh my god, get out, like what are you doing? Escape. And then I thought about Avalon kind of calling out to someone who's in deep distress, the island itself being like, you need to come. You need to come and like heal, because it's getting rough. And just the story of it all just kind of took me back. The story of like a land or an island kind of calling out to people to come back to help it or to help people just took me straight to, it just felt reminiscent to Sudan and that kind of struggle. But yeah, the songs, yeah, it's about that. Going through all these things, but still kind of finding the time to etch the truth deep down, to know that that's the guide that you need to be following. You know, etch me in wood, leave me in dirt, find me between what you hold worth. It's all about, despite going through all these things and getting lost in the way, make sure that the truth is always there inside. Don't forget that part, and you'll be okay. I cried for you this evening, half alone. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we touched on Promise Me a Rose, but again. Yeah.
Promise me a rose again.
Is there a gift in loss?
Is there a gift in loss? Because gifted more than me, there ain't none. Woo! Dang! That is a bar. I need to be a rapper, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Huh?
Not that you need to be a rapper.
No. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? What, by that lyric? It's just being like, yo, like, if there was reward in going through loss and hardships, I'd be the richest man in the world. It's kind of the gist of it. Fire burns for you, burns so long, so bold but untouched. It is, yeah, just a song about someone on their real back foot, and just completely on their knees, just asking for scraps. That's it, really. What was the hook again?
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the choice to include Golden, the first song that kind of started this all.
It just felt like a circle of all of it. Also, I've been doing a thing that I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the 2 EPs, the titles of them has been an ongoing sentence, marking my time any way I can. And I feel like as of recently, there's a thought in my head to either end it with The Deported, which is now called For the Deported, or ending it with the album at the end. But right now, with the thought of The Deported or For the Deported being the end of that kind of run, bringing Golden back just feels like a good tie of all of it. considering Golden was that first song, about all of that, about looking back and all of it. It all just feels like it's just too perfect to bring it in. And as well as that, also, I feel like a lot of the new fans to my music just aren't familiar with Golden, because a lot has happened since, and it's kind of been buried in the past. Ironically, kind of sick. But bringing it back feels like it just felt like the right move, especially before I kind of go on to start on the big venture, which is the first album, and starting a new chapter in all of it. The new, almost true first chapter. If all of this was a prologue, all of it, marking my time any way I can for the Deported, if that was all just the prologue, this is the first proper chapter, and I feel like Golden coming back to seal that as a thing just felt too right to pass up on.
Why the Deported now? Why does it feel like the right time?
Because it feels like there's a lot of deporting going on right now. There's a lot of deporting going on, whether it's Palestine, whether it's Sudan, whether it's Lebanon, whether it's all of that. Every single bit of it, every single country that's going through all of that right now, it is a thing. It's a trend, you could call it. It's a trend, which is deporting everyone nowadays. So it just felt appropriate. And I've kind of been I've not made a real comment or a notion on it yet, really, about all of that stuff. And it kind of just felt like a duty to my blood and my role as an artist to make that statement and bring it out there. And it already felt really good. When I did Tiny Desk, I have the Sudan flag on the kaftan, and a lot of people mistook it for the Palestinian flag because it's the same colours, just different order, which feels almost like fate, really. It's beautiful. It's like and people, we always say, like, since I was a kid, my grandma used to tell me, like, you know, us and the Palestinians were like this, brothers, sisters, forever. I was like, dope. And it all just feels right. Right now is the time for all of that, really. If not now, then when? I suppose. It's too late, even. Yeah.